All right. Our intrepid heroes have gathered together in the southern portion of Uldane in the world of Dragongrin. And Uldane, a blasted landscape with the far north inundated by the Everbleak, a chaos storm of a crimson energy and bolts of lightning and chaos magic incarnate. But to the south, people try to bring their lives together, scraping from what's left of the great empire of the Granite Thane and the what is now dwindling to nothing but small ingots and powder of very expensive and valuable thanium for the dismembered lord, the sovereign's empire. And while many people have come here for various reasons to seek fortunes, far more have come here because they're criminals, they are political dissidents, they are in many ways here to let let the environment and society end their lives, basically destroying their soul just a little bit at a time, or they've already given up. They just haven't made that last step to end their lives. And so lots of people here come from, more often than not, are from some other place. Although there is this undercurrent of the lost Granite Thane empire that wants to bring itself back, a very warrior culture that no longer has the honor and the standard, or is even given the respect it once had, because so many of them, to basically keep their grip on their swords, have joined the Sovereign's Legion as members of the group known as the Mara. And once a month, the 10th comes around. And the 10th is not a date, but it is what is due to the Sovereign's empire, where everyone is to give up 1/10 of their earnings. Oftentimes that earning measurement is not based on what you've actually earned, but what you should be earning, or what the sovereign expects you to earn for next year. So oftentimes those taxes are far more than 1/10 of what you can earn. Now, it brings to question, in this desolate landscape, especially those that live in the South, why would they bother even giving 1/10 of their earnings? And the reason is because right here in the southern portion of Uldane, there's a razor's edge of where people are still holding on to society, still holding on to a hope that their lives might be better if they just try just a little bit harder to be part of the sovereign's governmental, societal overreach, or taking that step into the wild, the untamed wild, the literal chaos of the wild, and having no backup. There's no law. There's no one there to run to. Even with as brutal as the sovereign's power is, there's still law and order. There's an expectation of what would happen if something goes wrong, or how your life will proceed. But when you go out into the wild, there is no one out there. And unfortunately, for those who live out in the wild, some of the safest places are under the umbrella of the sovereign. One of the selling points of the dismembered lord: live with me and you won't be devastated by these monstrous creatures that live out there, especially those that are mutated and come from the very nature of the Everbleak to the far north. And this is where you guys come in. Some of you are here escaping a dark past. Others are here to find knowledge, or even make their fortune uncovering things like the grins, which are the the places where the dragons have died, the resting places. The Some of them are tombs in which the dragons were honored, and that's where they were laid to rest so that their spirits would go on. Others were slain and covered haphazardly in dirt with these locations of their power. And because there's dragons, they're so ancient that even their bones um, give great power. And there's also, lastly, there are remnants of the vast war between the primordials and the titans, and both clashed, both destroyed, but yet again, being so powerful, technological elements still exist out there in the world if someone could find them and uncover them, known as arcans left there by the titans. And there's also valens, remnants of the primordials, the elementals, these powerful forces that were destroyed in their vast battle before the dismembered lord took over. And so all of these things are driving our heroes to go out into the world. But before they go there, they are in a strange city, a city with a shape and a design that looks rather odd. I'm going to share an image here, if you don't mind, guys. Here we go. And this is the city known as Nash. That is not a creature you see, but that is the city you are coming towards. Some have said that it's actually a cave that was erosion took out the bottom portion of the cave, and what's hanging down are vines and stalactites that are dripping down into the still and dank waters that are here near the razors. Others, as you can see above with the sharp spikes and the spires here, say that it really is a city that's built upon the body of a dead dragon, and just because of its look. And this is what you see at the head of a place known as the Razors. And the Razors are a very dangerous waterway, one of the few waterways that are located in the southeastern portion of Aldane. And it's also a place to get to one of the few places to get to the ocean, essentially, by navigating the Razors. And so this city known as Nash is technically a hanging city. No one really lives in the peaks. They live underneath the city, hanging down in the hollowed out portions of the stalactites, with rope bridges connecting them together, and the few barges and shallow hulled boats that are able to bring goods and services, and of course, our heroes from different portions of the world. The water here, although in this image, I did snatch this image, the water here has a reddish pink maroon swirl to it. It's pretty nasty, but the water here is potable because they boil it and they filter it and such for use. But it's not really a place where you want to fish. It's not fresh water at all. So you guys are in a location much like the classic tavern, okay? And there is, unlike what you would normally see where you're standing on a balcony and you look above you and you see the city, actually above you is stone and other stalactites and rope bridges. And you're standing in what is basically a restaurant, a tavern of sorts. And below you, you can actually look down on a mass of ships, and as cargo is being lifted up into the hanging city of Nash. And the tavern is just splayed out in front of you. You can stand on catwalks and walkways and go inside of the tavern proper, which is actually dug out of the stalactite. But below you, probably a good hundreds of feet, are the ships that are below you, and the hulls that are bringing in goods and services. And of course, the most valuable commodity itself, which is, few sacks of thanium that people can find that are trying to make their way. So I will begin with you guys, as you just all of you are 5th level characters in this story in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. So all of you have traveled with each other at some point, and as a matter of fact, you've all arrived now, but all of you have come from disparate parts of the world. And simply by really your mere presence, the fact that, strangely enough, you walk with your head up high, your shoulders back, really points you out as to be someone different than those who normally exist and live in Uldane and anywhere anywhere in the world of A Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin as well. And so all of you have gathered together. I'm going to start with Val. Please, Val, you may begin, and all of you guys can introduce yourselves generally and begin the conversation.
Hi everyone, I'm playing Volzuen Listul. His full title is Fusionaire Processor of the Arcanaut Collective, and they specialize in body modification with cutting edge and experimental technology. He is short. He is what is known as a Darrow, which is like they used to be the slave race to the Titans, and he is all about archons, which are like leftover technology from the Titans, even to the point where he likes to embed that into his own skin and body. His eyes have been replaced with archons that allow him to see beyond the normal person. He actually even has one in his earlobe. So one of his earlobes has been enlarged, and there's a little orb in there with a little liquid floating around in it. And he probably has some more implants throughout his body and even more mundane piercings. And yeah, I said he's just short. He tries to remain. Actually, he doesn't. He's a little bit oblivious to certain things, so he doesn't try to hide so much in normal when he's just wandering about. So, so I guess so. He's almost like he feels like he belongs where he is, so he's not trying to keep people from noticing him, I guess.
All right. Gavin.
Hi, I'm Evan. I'm playing Gavin Enfield today. He is a druid who, ended up in this hanging city while he was exploring Uldane. I'm sorry about my cat meowing in the background. He is, dressed in all sorts of tattered leathers, and the only thing you could see on his back would be a big kind of wooden shield that seems to have a bunch of like pock marks on it. But other than that, he might be one of the few heroes whose shoulders and head aren't very high. He might be kind of slyly trying to look around the bar and notice anybody important, maybe keep an eye out for Marrow, that sort of thing. But his head would be low because he's obviously anxious, and you can see him kind of wringing his hands and just trying to do his best to remain unnoticed as the rest of the heroes come in. And he's an Ardor human who grew up under the Marrows, one of them household of Marrow or something. But otherwise, pretty plain looking human.
Right. Walker.
Walker is a Festir, some form of bestial ancestry. In his case, it is apparently a savanna cat or a leopard, although it's not immediately noticeable. He's tall and lanky, but even indoors, the hood is pulled up and leaves his face shadowed. He has a long spear that he holds in one hand that he uses like a walking staff as he enters. And glancing around, he's going to find not a dark corner, but someplace unobtrusive. His main purpose at this point is to observe. He has been in a monastery receiving his training, and he's been sent out to observe the world and note why order is so mandatory for the good of so many. Quiet, not withdrawn. He'll speak to anybody that speaks to him, but not apt to start conversation. Just find a quiet place to stand where he can see most of the room and watch the interactions going on around him. The other three in the group he's been watching for this trip, he's now watching other people and watching social interaction at a level he's never really seen before, because he was isolated in this monastery type training. And he's just watching a different form of social interaction than a bunch of guys trapped on board a ship and nobody else to talk to. At this point, his appearance isn't going to be very obvious to anybody that isn't actively looking for it. And he does that deliberately because Festiers are sort of looked at sideways because they have a mark that says bestial or demon or something like this, and most people just don't trust them.
Cool. Bastion. Kevin.
My name's Kev. Looking forward to getting my teeth into some Dragongrin. I'm working with Dave here. It's a really cool setting, so I've tried to use as much of the material as possible. I'm playing Bastion Jaeger, a human Silverwise. He's a ranger who has been affected by the bleak. He's average height with an athletic build with medium length dark hair. He has one pale blue eye, which is his natural eye color, whereas his left eye has been affected by the bleak. So instead of being pale blue, it's actually turned purple. He's a very rugged outdoor survivalist who is going to act as a guide for these guys, getting them from point A to point B to point C as quietly and as safely as possible. He carries a scimitar on his hip, and he has a armored gauntlet on his left arm, which he can't use very well at the moment because of the bleak scarring. He bears a look of a man that's lost. He doesn't hold his head high because he's fought the system, or maybe not he himself, but he was a part of a group that fought the system, and so he has a look of despondency because he tried and he lost, and he knows that there's no point at this moment in time. But he walks with maybe a dangerous gait about him. He's not someone that you'd probably, if you bumped into him, you might turn and think that you have a chance, sort of thing. But one look at his kind of demeanor would show that he's quite a dangerous person. He carries an axe, a shovel, a hammer, a bow for hunting, a crowbar for prying. He's got many tools to see these people safe to their destination, and that will be his job for today.
Perfect. As you guys are just stretching your legs, you've traveled here, gotten off the boat. Moving from the boats upwards, there are these mechanical lifts using ropes and cables and things, grabbing merchandise and for people to go into the to the upper reaches of the bottom portions of Nash. Oops, I think I flipped the picture. There we go. You see that there are lots of people being busy. There's a stiff wind blowing across the dank waters, and the relatively clear skies, very rare in this region, are starting to have dark clouds start to come in, and you can see to the far north there's always this known as the Everbleak. It's like a roiling storm, but although quite difficult to tell whether it's coming towards you, Bastion and Gavin, you do feel like something on the breeze, like whether it's ozone maybe. You sense that the weather is going to change, at least this far down south, and there's something more to the weather, something that makes the hair want to stand up on you, stand up on your arms. Now, as you're looking out, and you can smell like the it's something fetid on top of the water, maybe biological material, something. But at least you're not in the ships. There's also, it feels like the people here. There's some kind of tension with the people as they start moving faster and moving around you. People gathering their belongings, moving dishes, things, and you hear outside there are people talking in louder voices, somewhat panicked, and looking out in the distance as you're standing there on one of the catwalks, surrounding or spiraling around one of these stalactites. You see that there are a number of sailing ships, maybe a dozen or more, all of them with red sails. And everyone knows that this is the time when the sovereign's red sail market comes to gather the 10th, and they gather their taxes. And normally these ships, or rather the red sail market, travels across land with armed guards, but they are taking, it seems that the 10th is coming here with ships, many ships. And the more you see, the more people in surrounding and protecting and involved in the red sail market, the more they expect to leave with full coffers. It is not a matter of what they might get; it's a matter of what they will take from those here. And everyone here is scrambling together. You see, like passersby walking around. Let's see if I can get an average. See if I can summon up an average picture here. Do you see 3 individuals standing here in the picture? Oh, I've got to share the specific screen here. Come on up. Anyway, while I pull that picture up, there we go. While I pull the picture up, you guys notice that with the hushed tones, that Vol, a small Darrow, walks into the restaurant, looks around, and spots you, and his eyes open wide, and he gives a hand signal gesture, one that only the Darrow are used to doing, especially when they're working with a lot of heavy machinery and sparks flying and oil drums going and steam engines thing. They can't really speak with each other, but they have like general hand signals, basically like one word signals, like stop, move, come here, safety, like those kind of things. And the Darrow looks around, and he's like clutching something in his to his chest, and he looks over, he sees you, and he looks around, and then he does this quick thing with his fingers, basically saying, need to speak.
And I will slip away from, I will whisper maybe to Bastion, saying, I'll be right back. And I'll slip into the crowds quietly over to...
Mr. Vol, don't be long. I feel it's best for us to be away before they come to collect the 10th from us.
He nods, and then he slips away.
Okay. When you slip away very easily. I mean, honestly, the Darrow, he's maybe a few inches shorter than you, much shorter than everyone else. The Darrow being like a combination of like gnome and goblin kind of, looks looks very paranoid as people are walking back and forth, but no one's paying attention to him. And he opens up as he sees you get close, he kind of like has his shoulders hunched in, and he has something wrapped in like a burlap cloth, and he opens it up, and you see in the burlap cloth, it looks like a mechanical hand, 3 fingers on it. It looks like it's rusted and pitted, as if it's been sitting in like a Martian-like dust for centuries or something. And he says, Master, I have something that you might be interested in. If only you have, if you have the favors, the pieces, the gold even, I can show you more. I just need to leave. If you and your bizarre friends could help me.
It's possible. I look at that hand, and the funny thing is, I have one as well. I call it the hand of the construct. It is actually also pitted and ruined. I haven't had time to repair it yet. It's basically the mangled hand of an ancient construct. And is it the matching hand? Like it would be the opposite, or it would be the same, or
the same. But
the same hand.
Is your hand visible to this Darrow?
No, that one is
Okay.
because it is. I haven't had time to repair it yet. I keep it wrapped up in safe.
Okay. He says there are more, and the market comes, and I have no goods to sell to the market, but maybe they will understand if I leave for this period before the market returns. I could help you find more items like this. Yes, Master.
How much do you want for that one?
It is a price that we can discuss as we leave. I have a boat that you and your friends can arrive on. I see that you are a motley crew. Yes, rare in these parts. Rare, yes. And we can leave before the market arrives. We don't want the market to open without my goods to sell. And you realize that he's basically saying, I need to get the hell out of here, because not only do I not want to give them anything, I don't have anything to give them. And I'd sure like to leave now. But you can see that maybe he may not have much to offer except for this one trinket. And he's looking over his shoulder as if maybe someone might be coming after him.
I give him a nod and like a head tilt, like follow me, and I'll head back to the rest of my group.
Okay.
And
now,
as you come back, you might see Gavin. It probably didn't notice anything that happened between Vol, but you can see he's ever since his nose twitched about the storm, he's maybe like off inspecting one of the like wooden supports for this building, and he's kind of like very uncertain as to whether this thing is going to survive, and he's just kind of distracted, but he's standing kind of ready to go.
Mr. Gavin, do you have a general direction for the grin you are looking for?
Well, we're pretty much on the edge of of Aldane. So
Aldane.
as long as we go in, that's I'm good with that. And he would kind of put a lot of uhs and ohs in between his words as if he's considering many options, and he would, he seems to not mind as long as we get going quickly.
Mr. Walker, do you have everything that you need to leave now? I wish to leave before the 10th claims its lot.
Seen the red sail market before. I'm quite able to leave it now.
Very well. I suggest that as soon as Mr. Vall comes back, we make for the gate and we head. And he kind of looks towards the storm that potentially might be approaching, and he's going to try and kind of steer the opposite direction. So I know it's coming from the north, but is it the northwest? Is it the northeast? Is it directly north? He's going to try and steer the opposite one of those two.
Okay. You as the you feel the wind and the storm getting closer. You can actually hear in the very distance, you hear like thunder. You hear the sounds of rumbling from lightning striking or thunder or whatnot. And everyone now is extremely they're like gathering their belongings. Some people are gathering like sacks and chests and things to actually prepare for the arrival of the red sail market. Now, unfortunately, as concerns the red sail market, the red sail market tends not to tell you when they're coming, right? There's a generalization as to what week the market will arrive and whatnot, but they tend not to exactly tell you what's going on. Yes, right here is the map of Aldane. If I can, trying to juggle all of these things here. Sorry about that. And let's see if I can move this down just a bit here. All right. My cursor is moving over a place known as the Razors. It's to the right of the map. And over there, you'll see that although it's red and kind of murky and whatnot, and of course the map is quite general, the map is measured in something known as dregs. The distance of a dreg is about 50% longer than you'd think it would normally take you, and you get there exhausted. Dragongrin itself measures things in dregs, and that distance itself is a distance as long as your narrative needs to be. But also the importance of that is that here on the right side of the map, known as the Razors, this is the location where you are located right off the shores of right near there's like a gorges and valleys and that kind of thing to navigate there. Probably not a good idea if you want to leave this location on boat out towards the ocean where the red sail market is going. Far better to go inwards along the Razors if you had any intention of doing that at all. Just to give you an example. But as people are moving about and you noticed places to go, where to go, you notice that as people are gathering their belongings, gathering their tents to in quite a few hours when the red sail market arrives, that there are a number of course people who are trying to make their way towards the few vessels that have dropped anchor below the Nash, below the spires that you are at currently. You're not really certain if there's a place to escape or leave this location above you, but even those of you who have had tangential dealings with the sovereign's forces and whatnot, the sovereign doesn't need to be here to enforce his law if there are other people here who want to enforce the same thing. So it may not be, all of you realize that it may not be a very good idea for you to stay here, because they'll be questioning, if you are staying here, what are your offerings? What are you giving? Who do you work for? And who do you form an allegiance with? So just as a reminder.
So can I say that one of the maps that I have on me from my cartographer, my map right background, is of this canyon-like area? And I imagine this area is kind of like Grand Canyon, sort of Arizona sort of climate. Yeah, so I mean, not of the whole Aldane, but maybe this canyon area, and it's very, again, rudimental. It's kind of basic things, and what I'll be doing is, as we go, I'll be marking sort of little dots on here for a cave or a branch that we might not have seen, maybe a water supply or something as we go. So it's very rudimental, very, very simple, but it's a general southwest, west, sort of. These are the main routes through this canyon.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, not only, of course, is your character a ranger, but you've got quite a bit of experience under your belt, and you're from this you're from in and around this region. So, yes, absolutely. And as a matter of fact, you probably are able to pick out probably the best, if you're going to use a vessel, the best vessel or best pathway to get out of here in the first place. You're probably not one. I'm sure you're not a person who backs himself into a corner without a way to get out. So.
Yeah, I've probably spent my time here collecting supplies, like resupplying, making sure I've got a map ready and poring over the map, trying to think of the best route. I'm just waiting on Mr. Gavin to kind of point me in the general direction that we need to go in before we make that decision. But I'm guessing with this, it's kind of sped up our timeline a little bit, and we just need to get out of town and try and avoid the storm as much as possible.
Okay.
So
now
he's ready to
Would
leave.
Paul be back at this point?
Do I arrive back right now?
Yes, you do.
All I say is, I have a way out. Let's go. And with me, I sort of the Daryl that is accompanying me, I push him forward and say, "Lead on."
Yes, master. Follow me, if you don't mind. Yes. And you see, he just turns around and he starts making his way through some of the people, the crowds, and things of that nature that are gathering to. That are gathering, looking out. Some of them in a bit of a paralytic state. Others of them, looking out at the crowds and things of that nature that are out there. Basically, essentially, it's the awe and the panic and the equivalent. Ooh, the gods are dead. It's the equivalent of praying to dead gods. That hopefully this will be a very shall we say a uneventful experience. Handing over your taxes to people who expect more and more from you. So as you follow that person out, you realize that he's heading down some ramps, heading down to the lower spire of the stalactite that you are on, away from the main part of the restaurant, the tavern, and making his way down. And as you look down, you see there are the hulls of the ships. You can actually see the masts of some of the ships, whatnot. But he's got his eye set on something that looks like an oval barge, and you realize it's not like an oval barge. It's actually like a turtle shell of some sort turned upside down. And there are like seats, and there's a little bit of a room on top of it as you're looking down upon it, and you realize it's pretty large. It's a pretty sizable craft of sorts, that's been pieced together using the shell of some giant animal or beast or something like a turtle or whatnot, but very massive. And of course, it's upside down. And you see that there are the my mind just froze on me. The mechanical things that lift cargo, elevators and things of that nature, rope ladders and whatnot that lead down to the ship. And just then he like throws some ropes down and he waves to other Darrow whose only jobs are there to operate the mechanical features to get you up and down onto the ship. A stiff wind blows past him and you feel, and it just blows past all of you as you're standing there on the catwalk looking down onto the vessel. Nothing where you have to make any die rolls yet, but the wind just comes in really powerful, and like a red mist is followed by it, almost like a fog, a red fog. And as you look to the north, you see that the rolling lightning is getting worse and worse. So you can actually see the lightning strikes over the water and over the narrows essentially, and the wind rolling in towards you. And Bastion, the explorer, the ranger in your group, he you see him talking to you guys. He knows the way out, but you're really going to need to get down to the ship and get out of here before the storm hits.
DBJ?
Yes, absolutely.
About this point, Walker flips the hood back so that bestial nature is showing. He's got one hand on the other Darrow's shoulder and pushing and smiling at the crowd so the fangs show. And I figure people are going to part.
Oh, yes, they do. Yes, they do. For those who aren't familiar, the Festier, the if you want to pronounce it as the Fester, they are I guess the mutated race itself, a kind of a blend of like Dragonborn and tiefling and everything in between, hobgoblins and orcs. They're like a combination of all that with mutated bodies and limbs. Take some random dice and roll them, and you'll get a cornucopia of like scales maybe, or fur, or horns, or spikes, and those kind of things. And so that's who the Festier are, and that's you. And yes, the people here, now mind you, they are a little bit more familiar with your type, meaning that they understand how dangerous you are. So while they may have seen your kind, they know exactly to respect your demeanor. They're like, "Oh, go ahead. We're fine. We're leaving."
So we move to the head of the line.
Yep. All right.
And the whole time we're going there, Gavin would be chattering about whether or not taking a boat during a storm is such a great idea, and maybe we should go on land, but maybe there's problems there too. And he would just kind of be chattering in the back of the group, finding a nice spot right behind the Festier.
I think Bastion would bring up the rear to make sure we don't lose anyone, making sure that we don't lose Mr. Vol, our other Darrow, in the group.
Okay. Your companion, basically runs up to you. You don't even, to you it's not anything you think about, but your animal companion runs up to you and has a bit of a panicked nature to it. Now, if I'm not mistaken, animal companions, like, you can see through their eyes and feel their nature, right? I mean, it's pretty much an arcane connection. Am I correct?
I don't think anyone has one. It was just me mentioning.
Okay.
Gavin
I thought you did
because of his cat in the background.
Oh, yeah. Hey, listen, I've got 3 animal companions that are rubbing against my leg. Yeah. They I've been holding them off. Although if this goes on much longer, I'm sure we're going to see a number of bungholes in the stream. Oh boy. Anyway, yes, I agree with that. Okay, so the you guys have the option of either essentially the very thing in front of you, get down on the boat and get out of here. You could try to find your way out in another direction, but the Darrow that's I don't want to say befriended, begging Vol to get the hell out of here is like, hey, listen, I've got the most direct way to leave here before the red market shows up, the red sale market shows up. And yeah, now if you want to take some other method to leave here, especially if you guys have any method to like transform yourselves or something, you can do that, but you're going to have to travel down, get onto the boat. Now, the easiest way would be to just take a rope, and a lot of the ropes here have like they're pre-knotted, or they're like rope ladder type things to get down to the boat, or you can wait for them to pull up an elevated pulley system that's able to lift like tons of cargo up and down, but it's going to be a little bit slower.
I think the quickest, most efficient way to get down, I'm sure Bastian would be happy to just shimmy down the rope itself, or a rope ladder. I'm just not sure about Mr. Vol at all. If needs be, I would maybe tie a rope around him so he can go down first, and I'll come down after him. And I'll tie the rope around me at the other end, just so if he does fall off or something, I can kind of catch him. You know, I'm sure the rest can kind of look after themselves, but yeah, I would probably just do that for Vol himself. But I'm not sure. That's his choice if he wants to let me do that, or if I need to do that.
He's gonna.
Right.
He'll take the help. He's not gonna complain. But you know, he is a little light on his feet at times when he needs to be.
Okay. Any Walker, Gavin, as you see them getting ready to descend, the Darrow with you, he's giving you hands you the arm in the sack. just glad to have someone to go along with him, and he goes to grab one of the ropes. You could tell he's from the region. He's not dressed as someone. He's dressed as an individual who's lives out in the wild, maybe an explorer, or heck, even someone who maybe goes into caves or something like that. Not someone that lives in this area. And so you could see that he's prepared to go down on one of the ropes.
And Gavin would just follow suit.
Okay. Let's see if we get a picture of him. There he is. And Walker, who's, well, not that I need to ask, but Walker, I'm sure you won't have any trouble going down a rope or anything, but I am asking how you would like to go down. You go down a quick way, just go down a rope, climb your way down a rope, or slide down a rope.
Oh,
or
heck with that. It spear slings in between the pack and my back, and I grab the rope and go down.
do the one-handed spiral slide down the rope or something, I'm sure.
Want to kick one piece under my leg and just rappel right straight off.
All right. You got it. Guys, I'm going to ask for you guys to please roll for initiative. This isn't something that's happening by surprise, but I just want to know what order to have you guys correspond to different things.
I have advantage on initiative, and I rolled a 4 and a 7. So 7.
Wow. Sorry, man. It happens. It happens to all of us. All right.
I have a dagger of warning, and it didn't warn me enough.
The total is 6, but it was still a 1.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay. So the reason why I asked you to do that is because as you guys are descending down the rope, and like I said, it's probably quite a few hundred feet, meaning, okay, I'll say is 120 feet. And so normally it's pretty long. It's like descending from a modern day helicopter military rappel kind of a thing. It's not very, very close. But that being said, all of you are in some way, shape, or form survivalists. So it's not that there's a fear of heights or anything, but you do see above you that you hear some words being yelled and someone's on a catwalk, and you hear, of course, the words, "Thief, get him, where's he at? Where's he coming from?" And the Darrow that's trying to scaling down the rope is like, sirs, let's hurry up. Let's get to the boat. as whatever they call the authorities here, or whoever he's stolen this mechanical arm from, peer over the edge of the catwalk, looking down upon all of you, and looking down on top of where the Darrow is like, "Get him! There he is!" And you see them grabbing large baskets, and it looks like, I don't know, maybe fruits and veggies or something, and they start like throwing them and dumping them down and whatnot, as they start yelling and screaming at the mechanical lift Darrow that are like on bicycles and gears and things to get the elevator systems to move up and down. And so you're rolling initiative because you can do whatever you want to do to drop as fast as you want, but the faster you drop down the ropes, your chances are you're going to be at disadvantage to do it. But you have to beat the elevator that's coming up, that's going to grab the people that are going to come down on the elevator to go after you and the Darrow. If you understand if you understand. So there's this time schedule where you're coming down and the elevator's coming up, and the slower you move, the chances are that they're going to get you, or the faster you go, the chances are you're probably going to fall and either fall into the drink or hit the boat or something like that. So considering that normally gaming statistic wise, you guys move generally about half your speed. It's actually what mechanically they call it 2 feet for every foot. So it's I know why they did that, but it's just a weird way of them, instead of just saying half movement, but I think they just want to get rid of fractions. That being said, you can move at your full speed, but you're going to have to make an athletics check. If you want to dash down the rope, literally like hand slide, like the military rappel thing, you can do so. Athletics check. I'll let you use acrobatics as well. You can use. I'll even let you substitute strength or dex, but it'll be at disadvantage. So if you want to do the extreme fast and like double your speed and just zip straight on down, I'll let you do that, but you'll get down faster. You can move at standard speed, would be your regular movement rate, which is fast, but it's just a standard roll, or just start one hand over another, half speed, and you don't even have to make a roll. If a 30-foot movement will get you down, of course, in 4 rounds, you can get down in 2 rounds if you double your speed up.
Yeah, the Feste is rubbing his hands, and the monk, because he's got 40 feet of movement at least. I took the mobile feat as well, so I also have 40 feet of movement, but as I'm last coming down the rope, then I can only move as fast as the ones in front of me. But I'm gonna look down and say to Vol, "Who the fuck is this? What's he got us into? Let's get it. Move faster."
I did not say a word.
DBJ,
yes.
I'm doing the double speed down, okay, but at the same token, at about 20 feet, I let go and drop. I have slow fall.
Monk slow fall, really? Of
Yep.
course. Hell's yes. Okay. All right. So you're gonna double your speed and then drop the last bit of it. Just let go and drop the last bit. Sounds perfect. All right. Now, let's go with the initiative order. Let's go into that 20 from Bastion.
Again, I think I'm the last one coming down the rope. So
Okay.
depending on how far below me Vol is and Gavin, like depends on what I can do.
Okay.
So it's a case of I'm more than happy to drop my initiative past them two. So if I can drop my initiative so they can always act before me and the monk can act before me as well, then I'll do that if that's okay.
Sounds perfect. Yep. So, Steve, you're muted out.
You're just holding the action.
Yeah, exactly. And the action goes off just before anything bad happens. So hell yeah, absolutely. All right, so please, Walker, please make an athletics check or acrobatics check, whichever you prefer. Presuming that you're dropping. Okay, let's see if I can do the math in my head correctly. 80 feet and then letting go and dropping the last 20. Or not last. Well, no, you might not want to do that. 80 feet, you would still have another 40 feet to go. You can still drop it. I'm not saying you can't do that. I just want to let you know.
Well, don't we only move half speed, so he would only get 40 feet
No,
down?
you have the option of moving faster than that.
Oh, okay.
You're literally letting it's slowly moving.
Got it.
It's fast moving, or it's literally just sliding.
Oh, okay.
You've got those three options. Slow move, you don't have to make a roll, but it'll take you a while to get down. The hand over hand, like, oh, gotta go, going down the ladder or something. Just a standard roll. And then if you want to do it literally a dash action, you can do it, but you're doing it at disadvantage. Because you're literally going into a free fall, trying to control your free fall. Not saying that you guys aren't good enough to do it, but we'll see if you would like to do that.
23. At the dash, doing the first 80 feet, and I'll free fall the last 40.
All right. Ooh. There you go. That's right. Yep, you can W. So you're of course you're a monk. You could probably slide down the rope one-handed and have a conversation. So anybody got any anime lines to get the in the background or something? All right. So you drop down the rope. You're spinning down the rope, dropping down one-handed. And you get to the point where you're like, yes, and now you just basically let go and drop the last 40 feet. Are you able to survive that last 40 feet, or is it just a little bit of a
fall damage is
sure.
What? Die 6 for every 10 feet, I think.
Yeah, but
So if I free fall the last 40, because I'm sorry, that's still terminal velocity no matter how you count it.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 4 die 6 of damage, and I can absorb 25 in slow fall. So it depends on how good you roll.
Is that 25 points of damage or 25?
Yes, sir. 25 points of damage.
All right.
4 die 6 can only do 24 damage, so I think you just.
I was going to say, right. I was like, wait a minute. and you did roll a 23. So you land without. You got to do the superhero land. Anyway, you're muted out.
Definitely a 3-point landing.
Oh, hell yes. Spear held high. All right, so you land in the boat, and you realize it literally is an upside down turtle shell. There are benches inside of it. On one half of it is they built a cover over top of it, so there's some protection, and there are sails that have not been extended, and there are oars poking out of the four directions of where limbs would normally be in a giant turtle shell, or maybe a dragon turtle shell. You don't really know. But there are giant oars that are sticking out with little seats to row them, and there's no one on the boat. There's no one down there. That was sweet. Okay, next. Gab, I believe you're next, and then Bastion and Vol are kind of linked together, physically and literally and motion-wise.
Sure. So Gavin would kind of look up in shock as these marrows start to like throw, I imagine they're pineapples for some reason,
Yes.
down at us. And Gavin would look up right as like a piece of fruit strikes his forehead, and just in shock, he would just kind of let go of the rope and he would start falling. And you would hear like this like shriek come out of his mouth as he just instinctively transforms himself into this like small, I don't know how big a small creature is in D&D, but I imagine it's like smaller than a goblin, and it turns into this like four-limbed, just like, it looks like this gross fish creature with sunken eyes and four long sticky limbs, and it just is disgusting. You would like, this thing is like in your Underdark nightmares, and he would just fall, and in this sticky the sticky kind of like choker form is what it's called. It's a choker from 5th edition. He then has spider climb, so he would then grab onto the rope, and it has a feature called Aberrant Quickness, which lets you do an action surge. But it took my action to transform into the thing, so then I'd hopefully use my movement 30 feet and then action surge dash, trying to get 60 feet with my spider climb.
Sweet.
So I don't know if you want me to make a check for that or anything.
No, but your form has a spider climb to it. You don't need to roll for that. So you've got it. Although I think you're probably making the rope a little slick as you're going.
Yeah, well, it's a little stickier.
Not stickier.
It's just
like
better.
Not a hazard, more like I need to wash my hands after this kind of thing.
Gavin feels the same way, but I would be 60 feet down, 60 feet away from the boat.
Yes. Well, wouldn't you be 30 plus 60?
Well, dash just doubles my movement, so I just move 60.
Okay. I that's right. And you action surge to shift rather than action surge to move.
Yeah, because I'm the monstrosity druid from the dragon, the guides, the Dead Man's Guide to Dragongrin. There it is.
Okay.
And it takes an action for that druid to switch forms.
Oh, sweet. Okay. All right. So 60 feet, and no, you don't need to make a roll. And as a matter of fact, I don't believe you probably need to make a roll anyway, unless someone's like grappling you to try to remove you off the rope or anything. So yeah, absolutely. Perfect. I love it. I'm loving it. Okay. Vol and then Bastion, as you're making your way down, and of course you guys see all of this, and the elevator is like 1/3 of its way up. I'm calling it an elevator. It's basically just a big barge or platform with a 4-point rope harness on it just to put belongings on it. There's nothing on it, but it's being lifted up very quickly by the Darrow, who are being screamed at to get the elevator up there so they can send some guards on there to come down towards you to go after you. And yeah, I'll let you know. I rolled a 3. Which means 3 rounds they'll be there, or it'll be up there for them to come after you. So Val, what are you doing?
So we're climbing down, and they're taking a lift up.
They're getting an empty lift up so they can put guards on it to come down to go after the Darrow and you guys. Just because blame everyone.
Yeah.
You know, friend of
So
my friend.
the lift is below us going up, or is
Oh
it
yes,
above us?
absolutely.
And there's nobody on it right now?
Nope.
How far away is it?
Not very. It's used to bring up like cargo. You could, wow. If you're good enough, you could probably swing it. You could aim something at it as well.
Is it within 60 feet?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm casting a spell.
Oh. All right. Now, listen. We don't normally do this, but do you have to use both your hands to do it, or? I mean, you are tied to Bastion, which I guess you could let him know that.
It's
But
semantic, and I have a focus already. My armor is my focus.
Okay.
So semantic, so one hand as
Okay.
I'm going down,
not a problem.
and verbal. Basically, just for, I guess I'm going to pull something out of my skin, a little implant, like a little ball, metal ball from underneath my skin. Just pop it out and throw it at the lift, and then this loud noise erupts, and almost like a shock wave rips right through the lift. And I guess there's no Constitution saving throw because it's an object.
Yeah.
So basically, I am casting Shatter.
Wow. All right. All right.
Where is it? There we go. Not bad. 10 points of damage.
Really? Okay. Not enough. It's not enough to destroy it, but it's absolutely enough to make it unusable. I'm imagining, yeah, yeah. There you go. I'm imagining like a rope breaks. You know, I'm thinking of a wooden pallet where you have strips of wood, and the wood's just like shatters, and one end of it dips down, making it completely useless to step onto. Although the rope is still being pulled up, but the whole platform just shifts and shakes, and you see it go, and it starts swinging through the air as one end of it just takes its momentum with it. And yeah, you disable it, at least so far as it can be used. Now, I don't know if they want to grab onto a rope and hang on it by accident, you know, what have you, but yeah, 10 points is enough to disable it, and it swings through the air, starting to spin and whatnot. Bastion, you see him do this. Side note, I wonder if a verbal component could just be a sound effect rather than a voice. Whirrings and clicks and the sound of steam or something like that. I think that'd be kind of cool. Anyway, side note. Anyway, Bastion, you see all of this happening. Walker sliding and jumping down, landing on the platform, and Gavin's body shifting and changing with getting hit with a pineapple. And Val destroying the lift elevator. What are you doing?
Well, I'm guessing Vol moved down a little bit after casting his spell because he's got some movement left as well. So I guess all I can do is kind of move down. In fact, what I would like to do is I'm going to move down to him. I'm going to drop past him because, again, I would only have tied us together if Vol wanted us to be tied together. If he was okay not being tied together, I was happy with that. It was the only suggestion I would have put to him. But I want to drop past him and re-grab the rope, so I can then continue down after him. Because then it could be a case of if he drops, I can try and catch him or soften his blow, if we need to. So.
Okay.
PPJ,
Yes, sir.
since I hit the ground so uniquely, to make it better, the rope that we're going down that's loose at the bottom, I'm going to anchor it so it's a straight drop for them to come down that rope.
Okay.
So it's going to make life a little bit easier.
All right. Bastion, you can make your roll. Walker's help is negating the disadvantage it would give you to slide down the rope. So if you want to do that, you can just make one simple athletics check or acrobatics check if you want to.
Yeah, both modifiers are exactly the same for me. I got a 15.
Oh, perfect.
11 on the die. Yeah, 11 on the die.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Walker steadies the rope, but you've climbed and descended ropes many times in your life, as a ranger, whatever. So no big deal. You start sliding down. You've doubled your movement, so you're like at 80. Yeah, you're at 80. So you slide down 80 feet. You've got another 40 to go. Do you want to take the time? Are you going to drop the extra 40, or are you going to wait it out? Not wait it. That's the wrong term.
Yeah, no. Again, it's a case of Vol is my paymaster, and so is Gavin. And Walker probably isn't a paymaster for me, but he's kind of just tagging along because it's his journey sort of thing. But I imagine Gavin and Vol are my two paymasters, and seeing that Gavin seems to have, he's probably now above me because I've dropped past him as well. And I'm a little bit confused. Vol is, I need to safeguard them because they're my paymasters, basically.
Okay. Now, Vol, you did cast, I don't want to call it cast a spell because you're a unique character. You launched a device at the platform, but this leaves you a little bit higher in the air. By doing this gives you an opportunity to maybe descend a little bit safer. Although there is something, there's a danger above you, of course, but you are still at a position where you still have to descend. How are you descending as well? Because you're kind of one-handing it at this point. So how did you want to handle that?
Since we're tied with the rope together,
Mm-hmm.
and he just went down so many feet, I'm gonna let go.
Okay.
And basically, and do almost, and just like a quick, just like a free fall, but I'm tied onto the rope. So,
all right. Make your athletics check.
Shall I make a strength save?
Ooh.
Because he doesn't have to. If he's just falling, then
he doesn't have to
do it.
Do anything. Yeah, you make the strength save to hold him.
So athletics, or I still roll athletics or acrobatics?
Well, see, all you need to do is just let go. You don't need to roll anything.
I got a 12 on the die, and that's a +4, so that's a 16.
16. Oh, all right. That's that's good enough. Maybe a palm burn or a might need a shoulder rub later on. Vol may have
me?
I'm joking.
No, I'm just saying I have gauntlets on. So shoulder, shoulder thing is fine.
So you let go. Bastion grabs the rope, holds on to, basically one hand on the hanging rope, the one hand on the rope that's holding you to keep you from, smacking into the deck of the ship, but you're just hanging free now, and you can switch places. I guess is the image I'm thinking of, that you can go fall past me, you switch places. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And it's pretty much in your forearm and shoulder area, just holding on to that weight. Now you see above you, you hear them screaming, and they're like, "Get them! Damn it! Where are they going?" And you hear furniture moving. above your heads as because they can't get on a platform. And you hear like chair scraping, maybe a large table, an armoire. Well, okay, maybe not an armoire, but you do hear furniture moving above your heads. And it is next round. They're going to start dropping furniture on top of your heads. Tables, chairs, debris, those kind of things. They are on initiative. Let it be low. Holy, I wish I could show this to you. Oh my God, I rolled 20. Oh, I was going to
I'm gonna get hit by some furniture.
Yeah, if I rolled a 2, you get, okay. So you guys are going to have to make saves, dex saves to get the hell out the way. If you're on the ropes, those saves are going to be a disadvantage unless you can do something circumvent the initiative. The one I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt there, Bastion, because you were holding your action, kind of like holding it, but you kind of weren't, like kind of. So I'll let your I'll let your action go now, and then everyone makes their saves.
Well, I mean, my action was to drop the kind of 80 feet past ball.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm happy to just make my save sort of thing. So.
All right. Everyone's still on a rope. It's going to be at a disadvantage because you're an easy or relatively easy target. Otherwise, you can just make a save to get out of the way of falling debris. Chairs, tables, ceramic pots, things like that. By the way, just to clarify, these are not marrow soldiers. These are individuals that are pissed off at the Darrow that stole something, just merchants and things of that nature. But yeah, make your saves, please. Please beat a 12. Meter beat. Sweet. Oh no, Gab, no.
Yeah, that's your modified dex. I don't know what your new dex. Okay.
He's got all them temporary hit points anyway, right? So he'll get hit, pop out of his aberration form, and then probably fall off the rope.
All right. So, Gav, since you did fail, you take 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
I look up and I think it's a pineapple again, but it's actually a chair.
What the?
It's not a. It's now a chamber pot.
Oh,
A full one.
for extra weight.
Someone pinched a loaf just to get a little heavier. Oh man, sorry.
Luckily, it's not my real form.
Right, exactly. So,
but I would take the 9 damage, but I wouldn't change out of my wild shape. And hopefully, I'm sticky enough to keep my grip on the rope.
Yes. Because I was going to say in addition to getting hit, you're probably going to fall off the rope and either fall into the boat or into the water. But not you. I mean, you were impacted, but you have that adhesive. You've got that like super grip on the rope, so you only take the 9 points of bludgeoning. But sweet. I wonder how the hit points work with the wild shape of the druid in this one version.
It's exactly the same. Just, I take the aberration's hit points. It has 13. This guy has 13 points. And so he has 4 left over.
I thought, I could have sworn, Bash, you made your save. You rolled a 16, right?
Yeah, I wasn't sure if on a successful save I still take damage or not.
No. In this one, it's just a somewhat environmental thing. You either get hit by the debris or you didn't. No, it's not a half damage thing. And anyway, but showering around you and landing in the boat and landing in the water are like chairs, dishes, that nasty chamber pot that bounces off the shell of the ship or whatnot. And I didn't hit the. Oh, he rolled an 18. The Darrow is missed. All right, so but anyway, the things are coming there and they're like screaming at you, and you see on the boat is starting to rise and fall as the winds start lifting the ocean waters, or rather bay waters around you, and looking above you where normally 100 plus feet above your heads, you can see the underside of the catwalk and the people screaming. Now there's like a red fog that's rolling in as you guys descend down into the ship. And you see in the ship, despite it being kind of an oval, rounded kind of shape, it's actually pretty darn stable as far as putting weight on it. Of course, kicking the furniture out of the ship as you land. But Bashing, you still have your maps. Well, actually, you probably have them memorized anyway. But you do have your rough maps and such. And for those of you that would like to, this craft is not moving; it's still anchored in place. Just have to pull the anchor up and get underway. And the Darrow descends with you guys into the vessel. Val still has the mechanical arm, and you guys can be on your way if you want to get the hell up out of here.
Yeah, I imagine
Gavin would immediately take up the rowing, one of the spots in his tiny form.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I would as well.
Yeah, there's just 4 oars where the limbs would normally be. They've got the little half circle, that half pipe cut out with the oar where you can just go in there, and you pull the rope to get the anchor out. You can see it's made out of like bones that are lashed together so that it makes like little hooks or something. And the boat is underway, and in the distance, of course, you hear the rumbling, and you are traveling now towards what are known, colloquially known as the Razors. And the Razors are these. It's not just narrow rivers, but the tall cliff sides have been sheared with such wind and these bleak storms that the rock itself is like razor sharp. So you have to be really careful about smashing into it or even trying to climb it and such. And the plateaued surface above is, of course, has been struck multiple times by these bleak storms and lightning and that kind of thing. So it's far safer to travel in between, using the river to travel in between the Razors and try to climb it or travel it on foot in any manner. All right.
TBJ,
yes,
just
absolutely.
as a side, I'm going to be useless. I'm a desert culture. Boats are not my thing.
No. Maybe not. Well, yes, in this particular instance, yeah, you're absolutely right. Once you get to where you're going, maybe you get out of the boat or at least travel to some place with some flat land. Yeah. Oh yeah, no problems there. But yeah, being in a water culture, I mean, being in a desert culture in the water is probably pretty daunting, I think, having no idea what to do or how
Huddled
deep
in the
water
middle of
is.
the boat.
Yeah.
And by the way, round boats like that are called coracles.
Really?
They're just only made with reed and tight leather. So we just have a biological version of a coracle.
Ooh, I did not know that. You'll have to be on my show during the week. We come up with all these facts you didn't know kind of thing. Yeah.
Google.
Yeah. I let everybody else do that, make me look stupid. Anyway, now that you are navigating towards the Razors and leaving behind the hanging city known as Nash, you can hear the horns blowing from the red sail market as it's coming into town, and you lose sight of Nash, and you go into what was essentially the inner portions of the river zone. You guys are going to have to navigate. The Darrow who went with you, whose name is Kalphus. Kalphus is like, yes, yes. I thank you all for taking me with you. Yes, yes. I won't be with you very long. I just need to go inland. Yes, and I will point you to towards the thing where I got this from. Yes. They claimed I stole it. They are mistaken. It just happens to look like an item that maybe they seemed to have possessed. Yes, yes.
Can I, as I'm rowing, I'll say, "Hey, you! I don't know what you've done or whatever you want to call it, but you've got us into some trouble. So you get up front there, you steer us through this, you guide us through this now, and you better be worth it at the end. Walker, if you can't row, then grab an oar and fend off the razors for us. Stick that oar out and keep us off the sides while me and Mr. Gavin here will continue to row. Vol, you watch him. So yeah, like if two of us are rowing, then try and get Walker to kind of use an oar to fend off the sheer sides. Hopefully, get some sort of advantage there.
Now, as you make your way down through the razors, you see that the river starts to become broken up by debris, by rocks and things that are jutting up out of the water. So you're going to have to navigate around these like sharp pillars or spikes or monoliths of stone, and you can see like the vertical striations in the rock of the centuries of like dust piling on top of dust and rock on top of rock, and then just having it sheared away through the water and the erosion and such. But above your heads, the wind is blowing even stronger now, and like Walker would know, being from a desert culture, above you is a sandstorm now. And you hear the rumblings of like, you hear like you see the sky light up in this like weird kind of red where your shadow is like illuminated in this dark red color, and then you hear the boom, and the sands just start to sweep across above your heads, well above your heads, while you guys are safe down. Okay, maybe safe isn't the word. You are down within the gorges, but above you the winds are just sweeping across, and you see it's grabbing up this like blackened sand from all of the electrical storms that have struck the earth. So there's like this black sand, red dust, bolts of lightning, and you guys are down in this place. You see there's like a foggy thickness to it above you as the Bleakstorm rages above your heads, and you're down in the razors. Yeah. You're navigating your way along, and as you start maneuvering your way around these monoliths, using your long pole arms and oars to keep from scraping the sides, because at first glance it just seems like very thin rock that you could break, but it actually looks like very hard obsidian that's razor sharp. So you really don't want to try to climb or fall or heck even be thrown outside of the boat. But as the storm rages above you, you see that there's movement like at the upper reaches. I didn't even ask you guys for your perception, so you know what, make a perception check, and then I'm going to ask for something else. But please make your perception checks. A coracle. I did not know that. Sweet. Yep. Yeah. Oh man. All right. You notice above you that because of the storms raging above you, as the winds are sweeping, that there are, lots of animals taking cover above you into climbing down off of the upper reaches of the razors into like small caves and holes. A lot of those animals are essentially a Dragongrin's version of like moles or meerkats and things of that nature, climbing down from the very top of the plateaus and the mesas and buttes down into some safety to get away from the storm that's raging above your heads. And as you look up, you see like the storm, you see the animals leaving. You're like, okay, maybe they're just going for they're going for cover, and then you realize that the electrical storm is directly above your heads, and you see storm is starting like, yeah, yeah. Hair starts rising on the sides of your arm. Lightning bolts strike down on the ground, and you can hear something slam down on the ground above you, and rock starts falling down into the gorge. How are we going to do navigation here? You guys need to make sure you watch out for the falling rock and keep the boat away. So it's going to require two of you working in concert. I'm going to pick one of you who has the highest intelligence can work with someone with a skill in, let's make it, I hate the fact that he called it
Survival.
history. Survival, I think, is probably your best bet. So I'll allow you more than like a help action. Just combine like your highest intelligence modifier with someone who's got a survival skill to
Well, I can imagine like Vol is at the bow of this boat, kind of telling us to steer left, steer right, and then me and Gavin are kind of on the oars and Walker's doing kind of fending off duty. So like Vol would be the one that's guiding us through, sort of, and then we're the ones that are actually doing the moving.
All right. Who would like to make the die roll between you guys, between Vol and Bastion?
Vol.
All right.
So what am I rolling?
You're rolling to keep from getting from the boat from being impacted from falling rocks.
What modifiers am I using?
Your intelligence modifier and Bastion's survival skill. It's the survival skill without Bastion's stat modifier.
Sure. Wisdom mod. 4. Okay, so +8 then. Is that right?
No, not combined together. Your intelligence modifier and his survival skill.
Oh,
So it'd be +7, I think.
Yeah, Dave. Sorry. I've got proficiency with water vehicles.
Ooh. There you go.
Land and water vehicles as part of my map right background.
All right. Perfect. So maybe it's better just for you to make this die roll then.
So like my wisdom with my proficiency, is that okay?
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, so that's going to be a +6. Sorry, yeah, it was a +3, not 4. Yeah, so +6 die roll.
All right. Go for it. 15.
Wasted than that 20 last time. Definitely. Is this with the help action at all?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, good, because I rolled a 4.
actually, would I have been able to give him guidance on this?
Yeah, that's where the help action comes in. Yeah, because you're smart enough to know, like, okay, wait a minute. Yeah, the rocks are coming here. I don't need to be a sailor to know to time it to go. Okay, 2 degrees left. All right, now 6 degrees right. Wait, hold on. Stop. All right, push ahead.
Are you casting guidance?
Yeah. Would I be able to cast guidance as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So an extra D4.
Okay, I rolled a 4 and I rolled a 2. So that's 10 with all up, and now I need to roll a 4, right? D4 for guidance.
Yep.
I got a 4 for guidance, so that's 14.
It was 15, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now, the deal here is that the rocks are starting to fall into the river, and they're going to, you see them falling down the sides of the cliffs. The rocks are like razor sharp. They're going to fall into the boat. This hazard is going to keep on continuing. All right. So somebody is going to have or you don't need to, but you're going to want to navigate the boat as the rock starts falling in, because every round razor sharp rocks are going to start falling into the boat onto you guys. Everyone minus whatever defenses you may have suffers 3 points of slashing damage from the obsidian and the rock and the that starts pouring in. 3 failed saves and the ship is probably going to start sinking from the amount of rock that comes in, unless a second person stops to get the rock out of the boat. So you have falling rocks, you have the hazard of being hurt by those falling rocks, and enough of that rock falls into the boat, it may capsize it, sink it, cause you guys to hit up against something else. Essentially, it's with a second person or more of you, of course, depending on what capabilities you have. Gonna have to stop to start getting the crap out of the boat to keep going to make sure somebody avoids it. But lastly, I will say, because all of you guys rolled very high on your perception checks, that isn't the only thing you've noticed, but the lightning striking near and all the creatures leaving that region, like trying to find a little hovels to sneak into, you notice that the Bleakstorm is affecting the animals. That's what you notice. And you hear like the screeching of an animal that may have been hit by lightning or something, and it's like, ah, like it's dying. And you see a little burning boll weevil or something falls off the top of the upper reaches of the canyon and falls into the water, burning, slicing and sizzling with a little like a fairy fire from electricity. And then another one falls down, and the other animals are like scampering down the sides. And then something comes out of one of the hovels with a tail, and a head pokes out. Something feline-ish, almost like maybe like a tiger with stripes on his head, but there's like ooze and blood coming from it as it like pushes its way out, and next to its head you see like ram's horns and whatnot. You see an extremely mutated creature, one bat wing on one of its limbs, something with like blackened feathers as if it's just extruded itself from like a birthing chamber after being struck by lightning, and it starts to fly through the air, and in place of its back limbs, you see that it has like a snake's body on it and a big head, like a cobra's face. It is a mutated, newly generated chimera from the Bleakstorm. So you have the complication of this chimera flying through the air, awkwardly, like screaming out in pain almost, rather than any kind of like bestial need to come after you. It just seems like it's blinded and in fury, and it slams up against the rock, and then it sees you, and it just starts diving towards you. Please roll initiative. You guys are going to need to roll. I'm going to roll initiative for it. I rolled a 1. Okay, all right. The chimera starts to sweep towards you, but the on initiative 10, you're going to have to navigate to avoid the rocks, and there might be the growing hazard of the rocks filling into the boat to capsize it. But on initiative 1, probably not much you're going to need to worry about on that one. All right, guys, what are you going to do?
Are we going in initiative order?
Yeah, absolutely. There we go. Walker. fastest, the fastest amongst us. Yeah, you're still muted.
I'm yeah. At this point, I'm still trying to fend off the crashing into the razors on each side. I'm going to shift from an oar to my spear,
Mhm.
so that I'm using the butt end of the spear with half an eye on keeping us off the rocks and half an eye on this idiot thing flying down at us. And if he gets too flippin' close, I will attack.
All right. Now, you guys understand, like in, it's 5th edition, you've got like move actions and attack actions, bonus actions. You're going, if you have
I'm holding my attack action until the chimera is within range of a thrust.
Okay. Navigating is going to have to use someone's bonus action to do that. Right. So if you have something that uses a bonus action and you want to navigate, then it's going to switch over to using one of your other actions. Right. So like a bonus action might be to navigate, and I want to do something else. Well, you're going to have a conflict of which and what you're going to do. So if you, of course, absolutely, it doesn't take you anything to pull out, use your spear and whatnot, but you're holding it until it gets closer. All right. So now, mind you, I rolled a 1, so there may be a good chance that you'll be able to use your action for something else, depending on if this thing gets blasted out the air or not.
Holding an action says that's all I can do. It simply means when he reaches me, my turn initiates.
Absolutely. All right.
Okay. So I still have action, bonus action, and second attack.
Not a problem.
That's my typical. I'm holding my first attack until it's within range. Bonus action is going to be like flurry of blows, and then I have a second attack action.
Right.
Well, I'm assuming that's the end of your turn, Walker?
Yeah, I'm holding mine right at this point until it closes the distance.
So Gavin, having 1 hit point left on his form, it's not very useful anymore. He's going to shapeshift out of it as a bonus action. And you're going to see this small, disgusting creature shapeshift back into Gavin. But you're going to see, like, it's like the skin gets stretched over the new form. So now his like body is covered in this like gross, thin black film of what used to be its skin. And now he's standing in the middle of the boat, and you can see he's even grossed out by it. And he's just standing there. He's like, this is terrible. This is terrible. But he's going to reach into the boulders in the boat, and he's going to try and mold earth to throw them, start getting them out of here as best he can with his action.
Sweet. Okay. All right. How does that work?
Well, it says if you target an area of loose earth, you can instantly excavate it, move it along the ground, and deposit it up to 5 feet away. So I would hope to start clearing out some of the stuff on the side of the boat, maybe. I don't know, but it's up to you.
You could do that. I could imagine. I suppose you could use it as cover or like an improvised weapon kind of thing as well.
Well, you can't make it an improvised weapon, but I just want to get it out of the boat so then it doesn't sink us, if at all possible.
Oh, heck yeah. Oh,
just like throw it into the water. Get out of here. Yeah.
And based on your description, like you're not going to be cut up by grabbing it, because that's kind of the other hazard with the razor rock. But the action you're taking is the thing that's preventing you from doing, because you're using move earth. Right. You're just describing it a different way. So yes, you absolutely get the crab out of the boat. All the obsidian or obsidian molded through arcane methods out of the boat and stuff. It's pretty horrible, but perfect. That means you have even more opportunity to not have the boat sink by having more of this rock fall in. Who is next on the initiative list here?
Yes, that would be me.
Gav. Yep.
17.
Absolutely.
How far away is this creature?
It's flying right now. It is it's within 60 feet of you, and it's going to start swooping towards you. It seems like it's crazy with rage and excuse me, rage and pain. So you're not you know it's going to attack you. You're not sure if it's aiming at you, if that makes sense. Like, is it coming at you or is it coming at the boat? Right.
Well, I hold up my fist up in the air. I'm gonna do a little different, and on the back, I will. Yeah, we'll do it. So on the back of my one of my gloves, my gauntlets, this glowing bluish white gem appears, and a bolt of crackling energy shoots out right for this creature.
All right. What is the mechanical effect of this?
Does a 16 hit?
Absolutely.
All right. 6. It takes 6 lightning damage as a bolt of crackling energy just rips right through it, but it seems to somehow arc back on itself. And let me just double check that. And I rolled 2 points of additional lightning damage as it arcs back on itself.
Really?
Yeah, I can do that once to one target at extra d6. But then I fire off another bolt of energy, and 25, that should hit. The second bolt, minimum damage of 5 as it hits again.
Wow. All
I
right.
rolled bad. I rolled 2 on the dice, then I rolled 2 on the dice again, and then I rolled 1 on the dice.
Oh man, so sorry.
Yeah.
The creature, as it's got like one leathery bat wing, one feathered wing. It's got like it's got the what's it called, the 3 heads, the
3 heads.
feline head, the goat's ram's head, and it's got like this one has a tail with looks like a cobra on the end of it, and the bolts of electricity or bolts of arcane energy blast from your hand and strike it, definitely doing damage to it. And you see that of course its flesh starts to burn, but yeah, this thing is pretty damn tough. You do notice, because you are a scientific sort, you do notice that after your energy hit it, that because of the Bleakstorm, that your the residual energy starts to turn red and kind of has like a little reddish like fairy fire around your arm. Nothing harmful, but you're thinking that if you failed too many of not fail, if your command of arcane energies wasn't quite right, that there might be some sort of backlash. That's the clearest I can tell you without telling you. Also, excuse me, all of you are aware that in this realm of Uldane, as desert-like and blasted land as it is, the very few watery sources are very dangerous as well. I'm telling you this because you notice that the young Darrow, or the sniveling Darrow, I guess you could say, Calphus, looks like he wants to yeah, you got a 5. Looks like he wants to jump into the water, and that might not be a good thing. Just to let you know. Next on the initiative order, I think it's Bastion.
Yeah, I think it's me. I haven't got my bow strung because we've literally just left town and I wasn't expecting combat. So my bow isn't strung, so I can't do anything at this moment in time. So I'm going to look over my shoulder, see this thing coming, or look up into the sky, see it diving, bombing us. And I'm going to take a breath, close my eyes. As I open my eyes, the world seems different to me as I start seeing the wailing grey more, the spirits, the echoes of spirits that, like, if there's a seabird, a flock of seagulls that that were flying down this gully at one point, I see the echo of that spirit, and I see the kind of spirit of this chimera. And as I refocus in on this chimera, every time its heart beats, like a pulse goes through its body, where I can see its nervous system and its arteries and its skeletal structure as I cast Hunter's Mark on it. And so that's me focusing on it and concentrating my Hunter's Mark on it. That's a bonus action. So as my action, I'm going to take the opportunity to navigate the boat.
Okay. I was going to say, it sounds awesome, because the very next thing that's going to happen, of course, is that you're going to need to navigate the boat to keep the rocks from spilling down on all of you. So please make your navigation roll, which is going to be your survival check, and you have proficiency in it.
That's a natural one. So it doesn't matter. So it doesn't actually matter what my modifiers are. That's a natural one.
All right. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to say, unfortunately, the craft that you're in gets wedged between one of the cliff walls and a big, like, rocky obstruction. And you're going to have to it's going to either take two or more of you to work together to move it out of the obstruction, or destroy the obstruction itself. Like basically a big boulder it's taller than like twice the size of a man, basically, and you're wedged in between it. And much like you would see something flowing down a river that gets stuck within debris and is jammed there, you're just going to have to move out of its way so that the river can push you along. But it's going to take at least two or more of you. But because of that, rock pours into the ship. All of you taking 5 slashing damage from the rock pouring into the ship. And again, you are 2 steps away of the craft sinking. So
I managed to take away one of those steps.
Right.
Oh,
so
nice.
Instead of 3 rounds, now this has happened. Boom, more rock. Otherwise, you would have been 1 step away, because there would have been double the amount of rock. So it would have been 1, 2, 3. Now there's 1 level, and you're starting over again. The rock pulls in again, razor sharp. It's not so much that it's heavy, but it's heavy and piercing, almost like caltrops, more so than a solid rock. And cool. That means that before. Oh, no. Okay. There are 3 actions left. Walker, the Calphus, the little sniveling Darrow, and then the Chimera. All right, so Walker, the Chimera, you see the Chimera is like flying towards you, flying down. It looks like it's about to, like it wants to slam into your aquatic craft.
Okay. As soon as it gets in range, it's a double-handed stab with the spear. So that's just a straightforward attack.
Okay, go for it. Meter beat of 14.
Hang on, I don't know if that's a 6 or a 9. That makes all the difference in the world. Okay. So that's a grand total of 14.
Ooh, sweet. Now I know you're a monk, so
It's my monk attack would be a die 6 because I'm using the spear two-handed. I'm going to use the spear's damage, which is a die 8.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
So plus. But brother, why can't I find any 5?
It's
So
a
that's
DI
a
plus
grand
six.
total of 11 points of damage on that attack. I'm going to spend a key point, and since it was in range, I'm going to do flurry of blows.
All right.
First one is 16. Second one is a dirty 20. So that's 2 die 6 plus 16.
All right.
6, 9. That's another 25 from punching the sucker. And then I get my second attack, and I'm going to spear it again.
Wow. All right.
And that one misses. 12.
Sweet. All right. Man, it's still, you could smell some of the flesh on it that was burning. It's still got some ooze on it as if it was just giving birth as it exited that cave, but you still smell was what when Val blasted it, and you use that opportunity to really take advantage of like hacking and attacking this thing. I don't know, my mind is picturing you impaling it and then using your other limbs to like
Essentially, I've got a two-handed grip, spear it, and the unarmed attack consists of 2 quick kicks.
Yeah. And this thing, I mean, it screams out in pain. As what's a unique color? How about green? Green blood starts spilling from it, and you can see that it is enraged now, and you could see it's trying to take its claws and try to go for like maybe sweeping you away as well as the rest of you to try to get out the system. Get it out of its way. It's got like milky eyes, kind of, and there's like a red tinge to its underbelly. It's pretty nasty, and it looks as if one or more of these flurry of attacks will probably kill this thing. All right, now, does or will anyone stop or have the ability to stop the Darrow from jumping into the water?
Or the desire.
Or the yeah. Mofo, don't do
Don't we want that hand?
Oh,
you have
me.
yes, you do have it, Val. All right.
But I want to know where. Oh shoot! I want to know where he got it. He was going to tell me.
Yeah.
I only verbally tell him.
Don't do it. Make a. Are you going to try to convince him to be the better part of valor and not jump in the water? Or are you more like intimidating him? Like, you know what? If you die, I'm gonna kill you.
Now, just check. Is he Zarfin?
Yes.
Yeah.
You would know from his behavior. He's more like a Zarfin excavator, like someone who goes out and digs in holes and caves and things and collects these items and brings them back. Not very much of a designer, more of an archaeologist.
Would I be
Can't
able?
handle it really.
Am I close enough to whisper to him? No. Basically, the mechanically is if I don't want any non-Zarfin within earshot. Is what I'm trying to get a mechanical bonus here.
I'll let you do it.
Okay, so basically it's called trade secrets. Provided there are no non-Zarfin within earshot, I'm trying to whisper, I have advantage on any charisma persuasion checks made with other Zarfin, as Zarfin will go out of their way to help solve an interesting problem or work on technology as long as they view you as an ally.
Ooh, okay.
And
All right.
I want him to stay to share the information of where he found them.
All right, I'm liking that. I'm liking that. Okay, because on one hand, living, and then on the other hand, it's like, ooh, but wait a minute. If he, meaning you, help me, Kalphus, find out where this thing came from and discover it, that's even better. But I still want to live. Decisions. Go ahead, make the roll with advantage.
Okay, I have no modifier to charisma.
All right.
My first dice roll was a 19 on the die.
Okay. All right.
No, hold on. My second dice roll was a nat 20.
Okay. All right. He's okay. His little spindly body. He's thinking like, shit, I am not standing in front of this thing at all. I'm going to jump in the water. I'm going to hide under the boat. I'm going to do everything I can to get something in between me and it. And the boat slams up, it gets jammed into the rocks, and he's thinking, perfect, I can jump out. And you yell over to him, maybe some kind of like anecdote, Zafran anecdote or something like, remember the 3 wrenches or something like that. Stay to uncover the hidden coin, or I don't know what. And he's like, oh, yes, yeah, absolutely. And he runs. He instead turns and like basically attaches himself to your back. Like he's like cowering like this, and he like comes up next to you, and he's like, yes, Arcanist, I will follow you. Yeah, you're so right. You're right. I can't not live and uncover this mystery. And he starts mumbling under his breath about because you would definitely want to hear this no matter how panicked you are. And he starts talking under his breath about overhearing a conversation about distant travelers that met a bunch of what he considers to be tome hearts. The people didn't describe it that way. There were these mechanical people wandering through the wastelands, and they met them, and there was a family of these mechanical beings, like small ones and big ones, like we would assume to be like parents and children, but they were mechanical, wrapped in rags. And without saying anything, they gave them shelter and gave them food, and they were able to get to the city of Nash to maybe get back to civilization. But they were wandering out there, and one of the things in that conversation was that they gave them this mechanical arm.
DBJ,
So, yes,
would
sir.
I be able to overhear at least, not Vol's side of the whole thing, but would I be able to overhear what the creepy little guy is telling him?
Yes. He's just like, yeah, you're so right. I remember the conversation. I didn't find it. Actually, I stole it. I'm so sorry. But he said, but the conversation was true, and you do realize that he's actually telling the truth. He overheard a conversation about this interaction with these travelers, random travelers, starving, out there in the wilds, and they just could not take it any longer. They wanted to come back to civilization, thought they were going to die, and these unspeaking, friendly mechanical people saved their lives, gave them some food and shelter, and sent them on their way. And the mechanical people just went to wander off, and they gave them this mechanized arm that was, ruined and maybe brass or bronze or something, or some kind of material or what have you, and thank them. And they said they're just wandering away, which he's extrapolated, like if there are these things living out there that are just living mechanical beings, they probably not only know how to survive out there, but they probably know a lot of secrets. So yeah, mind you, that's being said in a panic situation. So, Vol, I'm sure you're taking a hell of a lot of notes. Everyone else is like, yeah, great. Can we deal with the situation at hand now? So
and I correct him. Whenever he keeps addressing me, I actually say Fusionaire Processor is my title.
No problem.
If he's gonna treat me as like almost like an upper class type thing, I'm gonna make sure he knows my title.
Oh, absolutely. That makes perfect sense. And yes, he will seek to call you the Fusionaire Arcanist. Perfect. Now the Chimera gets to take its action, and it is going to use let's see, where's the all right. It's going to try to sweep Walker off of the boat. It's going to use one of its first actions to try to it's going to try to attack you and kick you off the boat. Rolls a 2 plus 7. A 23. Does that surpass your armor class there, Walker?
Unfortunately, I'm only a 20.
Okay, only. Anyway, it's awesome.
That comes after hitting him with the attack and having the spear still in my hand. It adds +2.
Yep, I get it. No. You're as a monk, you're a badass anyway. So I'm actually surprised he actually did it. You're going to have to make we're going to do a contest of strength, and if it wins, it kicks you off the boat, or actually it moves you 5 feet. So that's enough to push you. I'm sure as a monk you have the ability to do something else. So you can use either your strength or your dexterity and your bonus and your whatever modifier you have. And it's just going to use its strength and rolls. Seriously?
Yeah. Seriously.
I rolled a 5.
Ooh, okay.
With the bonus. I rolled a 1.
Yeah.
Puts the strength.
Using dex, my add is 8, so I beat him.
Yeah. All right, so it sweeps its massive claw at you and hits you, but you just, you do a tumble roll, dive, I don't know, arc, backflip, parkour the hell out of the way of it.
Okay, well, I've got this, I've stuck him with the spear, so he swings and I just use the spear as a pole to roll over him as I pull the spear out.
Yep. And let's see, random die roll. 1, 2, 3. It's going to use its other claw to go after Gavin, and it's just swinging wildly. Going after Gavin and rolls a total of 17 to hit.
That hits me.
Ooh,
Go for it.
all right. It's going to try to sweep you off the boat. All right. Strength versus strength, or I'm sorry, strength versus either your strength or dexterity, whichever is your.
Can I use athletics?
No, it's just modifier versus modifier.
Oh.
So no skill attached to it. Not that I believe in the push maneuver or shove maneuver. Isn't it strength versus strength or dex? I think there's.
I thought it was a contested athletics check.
Yeah, it's either it's your athletics versus the other person's athletics or acrobatics. Their choice.
Oh, okay.
That's how it usually works, anyway.
Okay, add it in. I mean, it doesn't have it, but it still uses modifier. I rolled a 13.
I got a 19.
Oh, sweet.
So Gavin just pulls up this big wooden shield he has, and he just maybe holds it up, and he gets knocked back slightly, but manages to keep his footing on the boat, on the turtle shell.
All right, and then 50-50 between the other two. Bastion, sorry, you're gonna be one of the targets. Because it gets to make 3 attacks, and it is going to attack you, sir, with its bite from its tail, and rolls a total of 21.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Ooh. And it's just going to take it's going to you know what is it? It's going to grapple you with its bite. So,
Okay.
all right. So, excuse me. Wow. Excuse me. It hits you, going to latch onto you and grab you in its bite. Wow. Where'd that come from? Sorry.
Stay hydrated, folks.
Sweet nectar of life. Proud sponsor. Anyway, I wish. I think the grappling is just a condition.
Again, it's
Yeah,
a grapple is it's usually it comes with a contested athletics, but I know there are sometimes an attack gives you the condition automatically, so it's whatever you choose.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't normally its attack pattern for like a chimera, but it's attempting to do something. So we'll do a contested strength, and it gets a total of 22.
If we're using just strength, then I've got a 17. If we're using athletics, then I have a 20. So it still beats me.
I'll let you use the athletics. Yeah. I'll let you use
I'm still
it makes
grappled
sense.
anyway. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'm still grappled anyway.
All right, so it grapples you like in its bite, and you can see coming out of its cobra-like mouth, you can see like some kind of green fluid or something like that. You aren't bit by it, meaning like it bit around you, not into you. And it seems like the chimera, enraged with pain or something, is trying to get you guys off the friggin' boat, as if it's trying to get away from the storm that is raging above you. So although it is actively attacking you, it's not trying to attack you, it's trying to find shelter. And it in its blind rage and pain, it seems like it's trying to just duck for cover and get under something. So it's trying to like sweep you aside, like and trying to grab the boat because the boat's big enough to like hide underneath it or something of that nature. Just out of instinct and pain, not really going after you for any particular reason. Let's go with the next initiative order. I believe it was Walker held on, but Walker's the fastest one here. So
Yep.
That's up to you. And you've got the spear stuck inside of it. It's just moving around. It's got Bastion in its tail, mouth or something. It's got the ram's horns and claws, and it's just like swinging wildly, trying to blindly get away from the pain, and there's nowhere for it to go. And
Okay.
rocks are still falling. And the boat is stuck. So you aren't going anywhere. So you're actually basically sitting there like a cup, ready for rocks to just fall into the boat. As the rock slides continue from above your heads, and the rock slides are happening due to the Bleakstorm that's above you. It's like lightning bolts, boom, hits the rock, starts crumbling down, wins another lightning bolt, boom, and it's just creating more crevice and then filling other parts, as if the razors are being reformed every time the Bleakstorms come through. Excuse me. All right.
Okay, well, the most present danger is to the guy that's in his mouth.
All right.
So at that range, I am just going to, I'm not using the spear. I'm just going to unarmed attack the jawline of this thing. And basically it's let him go.
Awesome.
And I'm not spending the key point, so it's an attack a bonus action, unarmed attack, second attack.
Okay. Go for it. And meter beat a 14. Or is it beat a 14? Whatever.
22 on the first one.
All right.
Missed on the unarmed, the bonus action unarmed, because that was a 13.
Okay.
And just got him on that second attack. So 2 attacks connect.
Perfect.
2 dice 6. Oh yeah, great, Stephen. That's 9 on the first shot and 10 on the second one.
Ooh. Damn. All right.
A 1 and a 2.
Wow. I just imagine you like running over and maybe going like, this is.
Well, I'm right next to the bloody thing. I don't have to run any place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's just pivot and punch.
Yeah.
Punch, kick, punch.
Oh man. Now, I mean, you slam your hands into it. The creature's like, I mean, despite the fact it's in pain, you see the mouth, and it opens up and starts to like move wildly. He lets.
So he's no longer grappled.
No, he's no longer grappled. You see lets Bastion go. It looks wildly around, looks at you guys, and it's in along with the snake head kind of hanging limp a little bit as if it's been stunned. You see that the creature realizes that maybe this isn't the best course of action. And he's like, and it like looks around and is like looking to leave. So on its action on initiative 1, it's going to get the hell out of here. Okay, go ahead.
Just a quick explanation. This isn't being out of character or being a hero. He's a fourth wind worshiper. And remember, a part of the order and fourth wind is all about order. And this thing is anything but.
It's actually made out of pure chaos.
Yep.
Mutated chaos. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is his total antithesis, which is the reason he ain't worried about the boat. He's just going to be punching out of the dragon.
Not a problem. Who's next?
Gavin, I believe.
So Gavin would look around at this chimera and realize that, the situation looks pretty handled and that he might not need to help in this situation. And he would look very relieved that Bastion, who was guiding us, is now back in action. So he would turn his attention to this giant boulder on the side of the cliff that is blocking our way. And he would look up at the Bleakstorm, and he would hold up his hand into the air, and you would see like a flash of green magic come out of his hand, and he would pull a bleak lightning bolt from the storm above and try and shatter this boulder that was keeping this boat from moving forward.
All right. Rolf, I don't believe you need to make an attack roll on it, but you do need to roll some damage. Beat 20 points.
I got 28.
Oh, okay.
Points of lightning damage.
Yeah, okay. The bolt hits the center of it. It strikes the middle of it. It like glows from within and shatters and whatnot, a bunch of pieces. And exactly. And of course, the boat you're on kind of like shifts because of the like slight explosion, and then it just starts to ride and moves its way away from the cliffside and starts heading down river as the chimera is like trying to figure out like, I just thought this was a good idea. Get out of here. But of course it hasn't left yet, but you can see that it intends on doing so. I believe next is it Val or Bastion?
It's on me. Bastion's at the end. Surprisingly, he's at the end.
Yeah.
So this creature is still here, but it looks like it's leaving. Like it might, or thinking twice.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, this is. Should I hit or should I? Well, if I get rid of. Okay, but I look at the condition of the boat. It looks like it's pretty bad.
Mhm.
So I'll. I will pull out one of my hammers. It's actually made from primordial bone, and I am going to start smashing at the rocks that are holding us in place. So, like a smith's tool, trying to break it.
Well,
I just read us, I think.
well, there's two things going on. You're free, so you're moving, but there are rocks in the boat.
Oh, okay.
So I'll say one level of rocks in your boat. You get the 3 or more, and it's going to sink. So
one is 10 pounds. Is that enough to reduce one of the mage hand, basically?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he holds out his glove and just starts. There's an invisible force that just picks up a bunch of the rocks and just let's see, can't attack. So I'll just toss it about 30 feet away. Some of the rocks.
Yeah, not a problem. I mean, heck, you could. I mean, honestly, you could just dump it off the side. You don't need. I mean, yes, you can do that, but as long as it's not in the boat, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah, I know he's chucking it. So his hand starts making this motion and just starts throwing it far away.
Telekinetically or electromagnetically. Moving
You know what? Yes, electro. So even though it's spectral, we'll just say So there's some lightning coming from his glove, and it charges up the rocks, and they go flying off in a direction.
That's awesome. I'm loving it. Loving it. Bastion. You are free from being jammed in a rock, and Val's getting this tumbling rock out of the bottom of the boat. You do see you've been released from the chimera, and you see that it's like panic now, but now it doesn't even want to be on the boat any longer, and may try to find some other place to go. But you do have the action of attacking it if you wish. Oh man, nope, your headphones out, or
You're just really quiet.
Really quiet. Yeah, okay. I'll do this and then I'll switch over to my phone or adjust this or whatever. So I will just attack it twice because I'm still kind of panicked that I was sitting down on the rowing and then it attacked me and grabbed me. So I'm just going to attack it twice. Draw my scimitar, slash at the snake's tail if it's still there, or slash at any part that's close to me. As I do so, I'm going to activate the bleak ruined weapon. So I basically use the palm of my left hand and draw it across the blade, which erupts it in bleak lightning. I'm going to make 2 attacks.
all right. Go for it. And meter beat of 14.
Yeah, both hits. The first one is a 15. The first one is a 15. The second one is a 20.
And you have your hunter's mark.
Yeah, and now the bleak weapons as well. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 10, 17, 17 on the die, and then it's plus 6 and plus 6. So 17 plus 12 is 90. 29 points of damage as I do 2 quick slashes, aiming for. Again, I can see its vitals as the hunter's mark is still going. as I'm still concentrating on it, and it's just a slash across like a carotid artery, and then across the jugular of the other one, sort of thing.
Man, you, jeez, okay. You realize that much like hunting any other great beast out here in the wilds of Aldane, as every great hunter knows, you want to do as much damage to the creature as you can, but still maybe leave it alive, right? Like from a distance, maybe hitting it with a spear or stabbing it in across his artery or something. And you realize all you really need to do is just pin this thing down and with one more stab, kill it. And you see it like, because when you slice across it, you slice it exactly where you need to cut it as blood starts like spewing out of its arteries, and it's like screeching in pain, and it tries to like fly away, but it's like barely being able to hold itself up, and it clings to one of the sharp abutments that's like hanging there in the water, and it just like tries to cling to it as it wants to get away from you. And you can decide whether you are going to kill it or let it leave. It's that injured. It's not dead yet, but give it 5 minutes, it's dead.
Quick question.
It'll bleed to death.
Can you hear me a bit better now?
Say again?
Can you hear me? Oh, okay.
No, I can.
I'll change my phone. Well, anyway, I know there's nothing mechanically to say this at all, but is there any extra damage as I've literally activated my bleak weapon, my bleak ruined weapon, in the middle of a Bleakstorm? Has that had any extra effect at all?
As a matter of fact, because it is like, it's kind of, they're tied to the same like energy source, I guess would be the best way of describing it, that you realize that not only, could you basically kill this thing, but I want to figure out a way to, you hold this creature's life in its hands, more than just killing it with a blade. I guess that's the way I'm trying to put it, meaning that at least for this moment in time, that if you wanted to, you might even be able to either stop or reverse what's happening to this creature.
I think because this thing is a kind of a perversion, almost. It's a monstrosity. There is no good that comes from a chimera, basically. It will prey on anyone or anything in the right circumstances. I think I'm just going to kill it. Plus, it's fight or flight at this moment in time as well, because I don't know it's about to run off. Just with me, I'm just reacting. A mere seconds ago, I was locked in its jaws. So yeah, I'm going to end its life if I can.
When you kill the creature, you get a like a momentary flash of something, as if your connection to the bleak and this creature is showing you a different course of events, and you get this montage of 1,000 different events of you guys being on this river, and the thing collapses and all of you are killed. And then you get another montage of like, you're traveling on, it's not even a river, it's a completely dry gully, and you're walking through the gully, and the lightning strikes and it starts to collapse in on itself. And you get another image of, it's like you're seeing these possible futures, boom, 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 happen in a big flash, and then the creature dies, and you're back, you are mentally back where you're at, and you realize that there's more to the bleak than just being random energy, but more like it's potentiality given the physical form. And side note, that may have something to do with the future. But yes, it is like more than just, oh, this thing has just mutated me and mutated this creature, but maybe it didn't mutate the creature at all. Maybe it pulled something out of the impossible and made it possible. It dipped down, you know, a bolt of lightning dipped down into the impossibility and made something happen that would never happen. Like randomly shuffling a deck of cards and randomly shuffling them in order. You know, yeah. And you, as you, the creature passes away, dies, it starts to like almost discorporate, like its life is gone. Now it has no purpose for even being there. And it just leaves this nasty carcass as if it's, you know, aged 100 years after it's been killed, and its blood just oozes out and then just turns dark, like a time lapse of sorts. And your craft starts moving down through the razors. The storm is raging above you, and you realize that, you know, maybe, just maybe, you're going to need to take some kind of, you're going to need to find a safe harbor to get through the rest of the razors. Your maps, you know, that's probably, you know, quite a few dregs ahead of yourself. And so you're gonna need to find a safe place to go. You're looking up at the storms, estimating. You guys, you know, have a little conversation, and you realize that there's a small grotto that you can take cover in, just to slip the boat in, get some dry ground you can step on instead of getting into this nasty water, and just take some refuge there. You move the boat into the refuge, and you realize that it looks like this is a place where some other people have been. And that is that is me as the game master depositing you at one of the outposts of this this outpost series. I know it took us a little while before we got started, a little bit here, but this is our first game in this series. I'm going to actually start naming each series alphabetically. This is, you know, Aristea bound, and each one is going to be like A, B, C, D, so people can keep track of it without actually putting like episode numbers on it, to allow people to jump in and out if they want to, and that sort of thing. So yeah, that we're going to kind of tie this up a little bit as you guys move on into Oldane, and all the people who may see this later on. Thanks for watching. I haven't done a live play in a long time. So for everyone out there, I want to say goodbye. I'm going to keep on recording because we're going to have a little bit of a conversation after this. So this is the very end for those who want to get out of here. And we will depart after we exit interview ourselves. So I'm DBJ. My channel is RPG with DBJ. Of course, it's where people find it. Monday through Friday, I do a live broadcast on my channel, simulcast on my Discord server, YouTube, and Twitch. And we basically take one subject and we talk about it all week long. Last week we talked about pandemics. We've talked about Medusas and Celestials, or anything tabletop gaming related. And it's basically a long form, completely live interaction with all the people that take part in the channel. I read off comments and answer questions, and it's basically a giant show of steal this idea. There's 800 plus hours of content on the channel. So if you want to steal an idea and you're like, I'm thinking about psionics, find the playlist, hit psionics, go ahead, look at it. There's at least a minimum of 5 hours plus, because we talk about it each day. And then each day, of course, is divided up. Monster Monday, Crunch Time Tuesday, World Building Wednesday, Third Pillar of Exploration Thursday, which is one of my favorite, and then Future Fridays, all science fiction. And lastly, I am a contributing writer to Critical Hit Publishing, and my baby are the cinematic environs. That's kind of my thing. I'm the self-appointed third pillar, so the third of the RPG community, and I speak it a lot, so I like to add it in there whenever I can. That's it. Any of you guys have any salutations you want to check out here?
I have a couple briefly.
Sure.
I never did introduce me by name. I'm Steve Fillmore Sr. Most of you have seen my son considerably more frequently than you see me. DBJ, thank you for your scheduling, because I'm a registered nurse. and I don't get to play very much. And this works well for me. Thank you so much.
No
and
problem.
Now speaking as a nurse, wear a mask, wash your hands.
I don't know why we weren't washing our hands beforehand, but whatever. Oh man. Anyone else? Paul, go ahead. Please go ahead.
Yes, I'm also known online as the Raven Rolls. You can find me on YouTube or on Facebook. I do some live plays. Might post some information about products, games, or anything that might strike my fancy. I also have a live stream of creating not this character but another character in Dragongrin in one of the main creator Tim Kearney's game. So if you're anyone watching who's interested in a random character creation and a little more insight into the world, I go through pretty much the entire character creation on my channel, the Raven Rolls again. So, and we're all from another, I want to plug the Absolute Tabletop group, because without them, we wouldn't be playing this right now.
Yep. Yeah, got to plug Absolute Tabletop, Tabletop Terrors, of course, Fistful of Dice, and How to Be a Better Game Master, of course, Barker and Matt Click for them creating this for us. And I'll put all this in the notes, but there's even the free PDF 75-page character creation that's free. So we're using a lot of that. So, and of course, this is an Outpost series. I'm calling it Outpost series. I don't know if that's an official RPG thing, but basically you guys can pop in and out of this game whenever you want to. Other players will be able to pop in and out based on, because life happens. And it's kind of a personal challenge for me to basically have a regular day, run a game, people could jump in and out, and guess what? If you just show up later on, 3 episode sessions later, so be it. You just show up. If you have to jump out, no big deal. No stress if you can or can't make it. And for other people who are like, you know what, I just want to be in a one-shot, hey, jump into the game, you're part of the story, jump back out. Essentially dealing with the issue of, hey, everybody can't make it. I'm thinking, like, so what? We're still going to play. We're still going to run the game. I think that's it. Any other last? Yeah, I think West March's Hex Crawl kind of story, and I intend on hopefully going through the rest of Dragongrin to the other regions, so that maybe this will be like almost an intro into the world, as well as messing with a lot of there's a lot of moving parts in Dragongrin. So there's a lot of that too, and playing with a lot of character creations. And hell, maybe you guys might want to make another character and kind of like slip them in there and like, oh man, I got another great idea, and like, sure, go for it. So anything else? I think on the plug. All right, guys, thank you very much. I'm gonna end the recording here. Everybody have a great one. See you.